Okay, hold on. Alright, I think here we are.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
We're
back, and it's with
Tom.
Mr. Tom is back. Mr. Tom was asking me today when we're going to record another video. So I said, well, why don't we record one right now? So we went through some of our books, and we decided which ones we wanted to talk about, and then we have a game that we want to talk about, and then we got some free books on that Halloween comic book day. I'm assuming it happened all across North America, but there was Halloween Comic Fest, so it's kind of like free comic book day, and my comic book shop was nice enough. Since it was close to the time of my daughter being born, I didn't have a chance to go to the comic book shop, so what they did is they saved all of them for me. I gave a few things that we don't normally read to friends of ours, kids, who I heard back really loved them. I think they got a Little Gotham book or something, and a couple other ones. I can't remember exactly which ones they were, but apparently the word from the parents was that they went over really well, so I'm excited about that. But what they did is they saved a whole stack of they saved one of each issue for us. Some of them are going to go to Lillian, some go to Mr. Tom, and then there was actually a couple for me, which was kind of nice. So, Mr. Tom, take it away. You wanted to talk about something first, one of the free ones, right?
Yep. So this is the Adventure Time one.
We'll just get it close for them to see there.
It looks pretty neat. We haven't read it, but in it looks like there's also like some puzzles like this where it says, I don't know if you can see, it says Little Mart.
I'll hold it up a little bit.
It says a Little Mart. That makes it look like so it will probably take a little longer to read and finish.
Yeah, it almost looks like a code or something.
Yeah.
Hey, I wonder if there's a... Oh no, it's just that. It's just those 2 pages look kind of cool.
Yeah.
And what shirt are you wearing today? Speaking of Adventure Time, you got to stand up and show them. It's a pretty good one. Adventure Time. We kind of love the show, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a pretty entertaining show. There's some really funny episodes, and both of us actually like it.
Yeah, and then this one, I can't remember when we got it, but there's...
we got it just around Halloween as well, too.
Around Halloween.
Yeah.
And that one also looks like it's gonna be a good story. So we'll
Totally does.
Yeah, so we'll see when.
We're really behind on our comics too, aren't we? Like, we have a lot to catch up on. Like FF and Fantastic Four, we're probably about 3 issues each, or 3 or 4 issues probably behind on those, like of each title. Because we've been, well, we'll get to that in a minute. I don't want to talk about yet what we've been reading. Should we show the other ones that looked interesting from the free comic book day?
Well, this is Super Dinosaur.
Correct.
I've never heard of it before.
Either have I. But it's written, oh, I just see right here, created by Robert Kirkman and Jason Howard. So Robert Kirkman is the guy that does Walking Dead.
Oh, so it looks like there's like these dinosaur villains. It looks like it looks like it will be a good one.
Yeah. It looks pretty cool. Yeah. So that's, I'll just hold it up for them again. Super Dinosaur. This is where it begins. So I'm assuming it's a continuing. Oh, well, here, right on the back. Look at that. I'm looking right at the back. I guess it is a... So I guess what these are is like kind of... A lot of these Halloween ones seem to be previews for books that already exist. Some of them, I read Lillian, the My Little Pony one, and it was only a part of a story. So I don't know if all of these are standalone stories or if they're kind of just here's a taste of what the actual book looks like. So because we haven't read through all of these, here's another one. And
then this is Little Bitty Hellboy.
Itty Bitty Hellboy. Yeah, show the cover. Show them the cover there. There you go. Yeah.
Also looks like a good one.
It does actually. Here, let me hold it up for them. It looks pretty good. It's very kid type of art in that one, eh?
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry.
And looks like it's gonna be something good.
Yeah.
I also think it's like a little continue because there's all these books that they're behind, but we don't know.
Yeah, it's true. So there's that one. And it's by Art Baltazar and Franco. So there you go. Neither of those names mean anything to me, unfortunately. So there's that. There you go, sir.
And then there's this Ben 10 Halloween one. And it also...
Ben 10 Omniverse.
Omniverse. And it looks like it's another good one.
Yeah, and it looks like there's 2 volumes out of that. So I'm guessing all of these are samplers of like the actual books, which is cool. It's a neat way to get some kids' interest, see if they like it. You don't have to make any commitment. You don't have to buy a book. You just get a little taste of a story, which is very cool.
Yeah.
And that one looks alright too, eh?
Yeah.
Do you still watch Ben 10 or?
Not that much, but
No.
it does. But it is a good show.
Yeah, because we have what, the first series or something, don't
And
we?
then
The first time it came out.
We've got the first series when he's a little kid,
Ah.
and then when he grows up.
That's right, because in the series he grows up, doesn't he? He doesn't just stay one age for the whole series.
Yeah.
He starts getting older and older. And then isn't there a series where he's kind of like an adult?
Yeah.
Is there? Okay. So this one looks like it's kind of teenager years or something, doesn't it? It doesn't
Yeah.
really say how old he is.
And it looks like there's other aliens helping
Mhm.
him, like that one.
Are those aliens that he can become? Because what's the idea behind Ben 10?
He can become aliens, but
How, though?
by this watch. But look, you see it at the back.
Here, I'll go
he
closer.
He is fighting, and that other alien guy's fighting. So
Who's the other alien guy?
this guy.
Oh, this guy here, this Rook Blanco. And who's he? Do you know him from the show? Because I don't know him.
I don't know.
No, eh? So it must be from a series that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
And
And then this one I was kind of excited about. This looked like a really good one.
it's got a 3-part
Yeah.
Samurai Jack, Ben 10,
And Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
So like a little short story from each of those, which is pretty great. So it's a Cartoon Network. I can't read it from that far away. Cartoon Network Super Sampler. So that's pretty awesome. Because we have I've read the first issue of Samurai Jack, but we haven't read it together yet. It's another one that's on our pile.
So the makers are whatever those names are.
The writer is Robbie Bush, and the artist is Mark Chiarello. And colorist is Mark Chiarello as well. So yeah, I mean it looks pretty great. I really like the Samurai Jack comic.
Yeah.
There's I think it was Travis saying that, you know, unlike the cartoon, I mean it's not as kind of dynamic art-wise as the cartoon, which is totally true, and I completely agree with that. It's definitely missing those lush backgrounds and stuff, but I think that's a pretty great picture.
Yeah.
The style that they're using for a comic book, I still think is pretty amazing. It still looks very unique. So I'm really excited about this series. I actually missed out on number 2. I didn't miss out on it. I'm sure I can still pick it up. I forgot. It wasn't in my box, apparently. Not apparently. It wasn't in my box when I went to pick up my comics that week that it came out. So I'm hoping that I don't completely miss out on it anyway. And then the next one is Powerpuff Girls. Have you seen Powerpuff Girls cartoon? It's by the same guy that did Samurai Jack. Gendy Tartakovsky did Powerpuff Girls as well.
I've only seen one episode.
Oh yeah, and what did you think of it?
It was alright.
Yeah. I actually just saw a bit of an episode the other day, and I haven't seen it for a long time. The cartoon was a lot more stylish than I remember it being.
Because I remember people are saying a few years ago they stopped making Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I think the episode that I saw, it said 1999 is when it came out, and I'm not 100% sure of that, but yeah, I mean it looked pretty funny. It was definitely more comedic, and the art in this one looks great too. And the artist is Mike DiCarlo is the inker. Ricardo Garcia Fuentes is the penciler, and Robbie Bush is the writer. That's the same guy as the Samurai Jack. And then let's see if, oh no, it's Man of Action is the writer for the Ben 10 story in here. And then there's a look at the Ben 10 story.
Mhm.
Which again, see, this one looks like that's the series that we know, eh?
Yeah.
Because there he is with his cousin, right? That girl is his cousin, or is it his sister?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I
these.
can't remember
It's been
either.
So long.
It's been a heck of a long time. But that's from the TV series that we've seen anyway.
Yeah.
Because then his grandpa is there as well, too. The guy with the Hawaiian shirt is his grandpa, or is their grandpa. So that looks pretty great. That was a nice one to pick up too. You know, especially for when Lillian gets older. Then there's a Powerpuff Girls, and maybe she'll be into, because Ben 10 has that female character who, I remember in the cartoon, the female character was a pretty strong character as well,
and
too.
then when they get older, she gets superpowers.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Hey, yeah. So that's one worth checking out if you have daughters. I don't. Let's see if it says at all. Just let me check 1 second. It doesn't have an ad for it at the back here for that particular Ben 10. So I don't know. I'm assuming that there's a comic of that early Ben 10. So if you just have a look for when he's a young kid, like Jaden was saying, she becomes a superhero too later on in the TV series. I don't know about the comic, but I'm assuming they'll have some of that in the comic.
Yeah.
But that might be something neat.
Mhm. And then there's 2 SpongeBobs.
Yeah, we're also behind on our SpongeBob, which is still one of our favorites, isn't it?
Yeah.
We kind of love SpongeBob because he's pretty funny.
And then this is the first one,
It's the Halloween one.
Halloween one. And this one looks like it's a good one. And then there is
Here, I'll trade you.
this one. That's name is Sick Day.
Yeah,
You can see.
that looks like a good cover.
And I remember one of them has this thing at the back. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, we haven't read these ones yet either, have we?
I don't.
No, we haven't, because we gotta go fast, because otherwise the tape will stick to it. Is that what you're thinking of?
The wrong issue.
The wrong one? Here, let me help you. There you go.
Yeah, because this has Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Pants.
Oh, yeah? Do you want to show them? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Pants?
Yeah, Jekyll
Yeah, Dr. Jekyll, yeah.
and Mr. Pants.
Go a bit closer to the camera. Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
That looks like a good one.
Yeah.
Is that, who's the artist on that? Was that Kochalka guy?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is Mark Rosenthal.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great one for me too. Not only is it funny because it's SpongeBob. SpongeBob is pretty hilarious, but they get a lot of very cool artists doing the issues as well too. So I mean, there's kind of one style for the big main story, but then there will be shorter stories where they have different artists.
Yeah.
And some of those guys are sort of along my tastes as well too.
Yeah, because the first story is like the main story, and then there's little stories after that one.
Which is pretty good. And what were you saying today about it? Because we had a little conversation about it.
It's always good because if you miss a book, you can keep reading the next book.
So you don't necessarily have to know what came before it.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that whole idea? Do you prefer books that are continuing stories, or do you prefer books that are, or do you kind of like both, or what are your thoughts?
I kind of like both.
Yeah. Why is that?
I don't know, but I just kind of like both.
Well, I think when we were talking about it before, we kind of talked about that it's sometimes nice with individual stories because you don't have to worry about it too much.
Yeah.
You can kind of come in at any time. But with a longer story, sometimes that's pretty good too. Like the one we're going to talk about later, how it's just so epic. It's kind of nice to get a big kind of story, because then it almost becomes like a Star Wars trilogy kind of thing. It becomes this big kind of epic, which can be fun too.
Yeah.
But sometimes those ones really are enjoyable, where it's just, here's a little funny story. And I guess that kind of thing works better with a book like SpongeBob anyway, you know, because then you can have little gag cartoons and stuff.
Because I don't know how they could have made like a SpongeBob book only with one story.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, no, I hear that. I totally understand that. But I think Damien was saying, maybe he was saying it about Powerpuff Girls. I can't remember 100%. one of the guys on here that I watch was saying that the Powerpuff Girls, they do that, and it's a continuing thing. Which, what do you think about that? Like, that's specifically a kid's book, too. Like, do you think other kids would have the patience to wait? Like, how many of your friends at school read comics?
I've got no idea.
Yeah, I don't think there's any, is there? They've seen the superhero movies, but I don't think they really read comics, eh?
Yeah, not that much people read comics.
Do you think that kind of thing would appeal to them? Like, if it was a continuing story over a bunch of issues, or do you think that they might go, oh, well, I just want to read a comic?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people may want just, I want to read a comic, and some other people may want
some bigger story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of your friends read a lot, or do you think it's kind of...
Well, some of my friends read, and some of them don't like reading a lot.
What kind of books do the friends that like reading, what kind of things do they like to read?
Adventure stories.
Okay. Goosebumps, no?
Well, yeah.
Don't you have one friend who's got a lot of Goosebumps books?
Oh, yeah, my one friend likes Goosebumps, and he also loves the movies.
He loves the movies as well?
Yeah.
But he also reads the books, too?
Yeah, he's read, so I don't know if he's actually read the books. I'm thinking he's read a couple, but he watches the movies more.
Yeah.
But I think I read more books than watch less Goosebumps movies.
It's probably true, yeah. And I'm curious, because I don't know either. I wonder how many kids read as much these days. I mean, you guys at school, you have a library day, don't you?
And you get read to stuff, but...
Yeah, but that's kind of part of classroom. Like, when you go to the library, you pick out books for yourself, don't you? When you have library day, it's not necessarily for, like, your assignment is to read a book and tell me about it kind of thing, is it? It's just more for fun, for your own thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
For, like, home reading and stuff.
Yeah. It's,
And do other kids, are they excited about library day, or are they kind of, library day?
Some kids love library.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know.
So should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah, for sure. Do you want to talk about this one a little bit?
Sure.
We're behind. We're behind on this one as well, too. So we'll show the ones we haven't read first. And then we can show the other ones.
We are,
These are two that we have not read yet.
We have not read this episode.
This issue?
This issue, but it looks like it should be a good one.
With Muscle Man, right?
Yeah.
So that's regular show number 5 that we haven't read yet.
And then we haven't read regular show Skips #1.
That's right. I think number 2 is out as well. I didn't get a chance to go to the comic book shop this week, so.
But this one also looks like a good one.
Yeah, I think it's just a mini-series where the story is just on Skips. I don't know how many issues it's supposed to be, but it looks pretty cool. What do you think of the show, regular show?
Oh,
that's what you saw first, eh, before we started reading the comic?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah?
It's good.
It's pretty funny?
Yeah.
What do you think of the comic books compared to the TV show?
They're kind of the same.
Kind of the same, eh? Kind of the same humor.
The art is exactly the same.
Yeah, for the main story, but then this is another one, kind of like Adventure Time, where they do have other artists come in and do different versions. So here's the thing I'm noticing. I don't know if Jaden notices this or cares too much about this, but the thing I noticed, especially with like Adventure Time and regular show, is the amount of variant covers that they put out is pretty elaborate. Like there's a lot. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Okay.
There's a lot of variant covers, and that kind of frustrates me a little bit for kids' books, because it can get confusing, especially if you're there with your child and if you're not paying close enough attention. Again, I don't know how many kids are going to comic book shops, but it's one of those things, picking up, well, we don't have this one because the cover's different, so the chances of maybe buying duplicates is a bit higher. And I think it's kind of like a market. Kids' books shouldn't be a market of like crazy collectability stuff. Kids' market should be, I think, a little bit more specific. Like if you're trying to get kids into reading comics, that's cool, but when you do stuff like that, in my mind, it almost sits as like you're trying to get kids to be collectors. You're not trying to get kids to enjoy reading and discover reading and enjoy just reading comics. It's kind of leading them down like, oh, well, I got to get all these covers. It's like, but it's the same story. So are you reading the story? Are you interested in the story? Or are you interested just in the different covers? So usually what we do is, well, I usually, actually, to be honest, I think I've picked it most of the time. I just pick what cover I think looks the best and what one might go over the best with us, because we don't always get a chance to go together. Because it's usually, I usually go on Wednesday or Thursday, and you're in school, obviously, so that's usually when I pick up our books. So sometimes I'll just take whatever they have, whatever they put in our slot for us, but sometimes then I'll go to the shelf and see, like, for example, this one. I like this cover a lot more than the other one. I thought it was pretty neat for a first issue.
Yeah.
But you think it's funny, and there's number 2. So you're enjoying it, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It is. It's kind of funny. I don't mind the show. I'm not the biggest fan of the show. But I think the book works a little better. I'm playing with the cover because it looks like it's sparkling there on the monitor. Can you see it? Even though there's nothing glittery on the actual cover itself for stars. It's just the way it's catching the light. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So.
And then number 3.
And then.
And then number
4.
Number 4.
That's also.
So yeah,
Look.
if you've seen the show, check it out. If you haven't seen the show, maybe you want to try out one of the comics. So you want to talk about this one next?
Yeah.
So this will be you talking about this one, because honestly, it's been so long, because we've read 2 of the 4 issues. We haven't read the last 2 yet, and it's been quite a long time since we read them. I honestly don't really remember what's going on. So take it away, Mr. Tom.
This is Hunger, and it looks like it's a good issue because it's got the Watcher, and in the second
Watcher and Galactus, right?
Yeah,
Like that's
and
Galactus in there.
And
because it's a story about Galactus, isn't it?
And it's also got some Silver Surfer in it.
Yeah, and do you remember what the gold guy's name was?
I cannot remember what
Me
that
neither.
gold guy's name is, but
well, the thing I do remember is that he's kind of somebody created in this story that we're reading, right? Like in the first story, he's just a human on Earth that gets these powers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is Hunger number...
That's number 2. So we've read those first 2, and then these last... the last 2 parts we haven't read, because it's only a 4-part miniseries.
And then it also looks like the Kree is going to... One of the Kree is going to be helping to destroy Galactus. So this is probably going to be a really good book for a good team up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, too.
Yeah. And the covers and the art is really, really good.
Yeah, the covers are pretty impressive.
Yeah, because this one's a really good cover. This one's a really good cover.
It is cool. And at the end of the day, who doesn't love a story about Galactus? He's this giant alien, space alien who just devours planets. It's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah. Just...
Yeah. So we're going to read these ones after we're finished our other big series, which we will save for last, because first you wanted to talk about these ones too, eh?
Well, this is a Halloween special, and
no, I don't think it's a Halloween special. It's just a mini-series. It's called Marvel Knights.
Yeah.
They're doing a whole bunch of different mini-series.
But it's like a little Halloween one, because it's...
I guess, ish.
The first issue was more Halloween, because it's got werewolves.
I guess so, yeah. Fair enough.
And then
A Frankenstein,
yeah,
doesn't it? Yeah.
A giant Frankenstein. The first issue was more
Here, I'll open it for you.
was more a Halloween one than the second one, but the art is actually some really good art. Like this.
It's pretty amazing, isn't
like
it?
this one. This is a good.
Yeah, you got it.
This is
This
good.
there?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one's pretty good art. And they
Well, and that's the thing, eh? Doesn't it almost looks like the style kind of changes a little bit throughout the book, which is very cool as well.
Yeah, the style kind of changes.
Do you find it, like, I love it. I think it's a fantastic book. I think it's really original. I think the page layouts are incredible. The art is mind-blowingly good. Because of all that, though, do you have a problem following what's going on as we're reading it? Does it make it difficult for you?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we kind of get to pause and talk about it too, I guess, eh? And plus, you've read so many comics now that maybe it's a little bit easier for you to understand, do you think?
Yep.
Yeah? Do you think if you showed this to one of your buddies, they'd go, cool, or would they go, what the heck is going on?
I don't quite know.
Yeah.
Yep. So, this one looks like...
It's a cool one.
Yeah.
And then, hold on, before we move on.
Okay.
So they're going to be doing... Marvel Knights Hulk comes out right away, actually. It says the 18th. And then something that's out already is Marvel Knights X-Men.
Yeah.
Which I haven't picked up yet. I'm going to pick it up. I've heard that it's maybe not as good as this one, but I'm very interested in this Marvel Knights line of books. I'm very curious, because that one is really, really fun.
And then this one's awesome.
It's number 2.
This is number 2. And you can see the art actually does kind of change.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's still the same kind of style. It gets a little more abstract in this one, doesn't it? It gets a little more arty. Do you want to start talking about this, and I'll go get Miss Lillian?
Okay.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, so, we're reading Infinity. That's the one why we're, not that catching up on, the other books, because Infinity is a good one. And you see, the art is actually pretty good. This is the one we're just on. So this one looks like it's gonna be good. And we are collecting variant covers for the books because the variant covers would look kind of neat with them. So
The variant covers look sweet.
yeah, and we are collecting those.
And also, the variant covers, they come in a poster too, which we're also going to look for. And it has all the different covers in one long poster, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So what did you say about Infinity? Do you like that? You liked it?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a good series, and we're probably gonna get Inhumanity after this one.
I think we definitely are, because we're both, like, I'm really liking it as well too, and I'm totally not one for these big epics, but for some reason this one has worked, because we've picked up Avengers and New Avengers since the first issue, so we've been reading those anyway. So it's basically just picking up one extra book, which was, how many issues? 6-issue miniseries, right? So it was just basically picking up 6 extra books, because we're not reading any of the other tie-ins or anything. So we're just reading those 3 titles. And I think it's great. I think it's a lot of fun, because it's so epic, because it's this big galactic kind of battle and the whole 9 yards. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Just gotta move you this way a little bit.
this-
So that one we really like. And last night we just read, what, part 4?
Yeah, part 4. And
Okay,
it's also really good because before you actually do the comic, where you start reading, they tell you who's going to be in this issue, and that's one of the parts I like. And
Totally.
the art is really good.
So good.
Like this page is a really good art.
Yeah, Infinity, I think, Avengers is my favorite art, I think, out of these. Like, I like them all, but I really like the art in the Avengers title. I think it's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's a fun book. And that Infinity that we read last night,
Yeah.
how good was that?
That was awesome.
What was the big thing that happened? We thought they were gonna what? We thought they were gonna give up?
Yeah, because Thor just throws his hammer away,
Yeah.
and then you see his hammer coming back, and the hammer just goes right through a builder.
That's right, which was pretty awesome. We were both like, whoa!
And,
Thor totally kicked his butt.
and then this is the builder.
This is the next one. We haven't read this one yet. We're reading it tonight.
This is the builder that.
Spoiler alert for us.
Yeah. This is the builder that
It got destroyed.
Yeah, got destroyed.
Yeah.
So let's see.
I think it's a great book, though, is
Yeah.
the gist of it, eh? It's,
Yeah.
and we love the Inhumans, so with that Inhumanity, I think for sure we're going to read that. If we're going to pick up any kind of epic story, I don't mind reading something like this. I just, it's just tough when we see each other once a week. That's why we're so far behind. Because
Yeah, that's why it's good to only have like one or three big stories going on.
One or three, yeah, totally, yeah.
One or
It
three.
makes it a little tougher, but we're lucky enough this week we had 2 sleepovers in a row, and now that we're getting close to Christmas break, he'll probably be here for like a week or so,
Yeah.
which will be fantastic, so we'll get to read a lot more,
Yeah.
which is pretty fun. How you doing there, Miss Lillian? So is that all about that one?
Yeah.
Did you want to say anything else?
No, because this one looks like a pretty good.
It does look pretty good.
Yeah.
Just do that. Okay, we should wrap it up right away. So why don't we put that one away, because it's been a half an hour already. So why don't you talk about the last thing, our game that we've been trying out. Here, let me do it for you. Here,
Okay.
you grab the game.
The board too? Or
No, just show the cards first.
Okay. So this is wrong. This is DC
Oh, bless you.
Overpower. That's another good game. And
I've had it since it came out. I collected it. I used to collect cards, and the main reason I collected it was because I thought the cards were so well done. The art on them is pretty fantastic. This is just a random one here, just to kind of show you.
yeah.
So, for example, this is the Brainiac card.
Yeah.
So that's like the power card for the people, for the individual heroes or villains. You can play heroes or villains.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it's a fun game so we used to look through the cards together because he used to love looking at all the superheroes. And then a couple of weeks ago we said, hey Dad, remember you said that one time we could play Overpower? I kind of want to play it. So I dug out all the cards, we built some teams together, and we ended up playing.
Yeah, because we've also got power cards that
They're special cards, you mean? Those
special
are the special
cards.
cards, yeah.
And the best ones if you've got one per deck. And also it's nice to have more than just one special card, because then you can put as many special cards as you've got in your deck.
It's true. So then what we did, so we have our decks built over there.
Yeah.
So these are the cards. It's tough to, we'll show you another time. But basically, if you look up DC Overpower on the internet, I'm sure you'll get some samples of the cards if you're not familiar with it already.
Yeah.
But then what I did was, it made it easier.
Yeah, and this
There you
is
go.
what made it easier, because
I built a game board, basically.
game board.
So there's a taste of it. It's huge. So I built it on a few different pieces of cardboard so we could fold it up like that.
Yeah.
But it basically, because the game is so complex with what
All the-
piles you have
yeah.
to put stuff in.
And all those rules, you kind of would need some board to help you play or something.
So I built a grid for each person where specific cards go, where discard piles are, where you venture your games and stuff like that, where you do all your little tricks. And then on one side I put 1 to 9 of the order of play, and on the other hand I put rules of when you venture cards kind of thing. So then it has just kind of like some main points for us to follow as we're playing the game.
Yeah.
And when we played it with that board, it made it much easier, didn't it?
Yeah, it was way easier than when we had to do it off the phone.
Because I think, because we looked at the rules online.
Yeah.
I think the first game we played took us like, what, 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah, it took
Just to
3
do one game.
or 4, yeah.
And then the second time we played it, I think took us about an hour-ish. An hour to an hour and a half to play one game.
Yeah, so it's best when you get you look
It's
through
okay,
the world rules, and then you carve a board.
It's true.
That's the easiest way to do it. So you've got all those instructions right beside you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes it a little easier to kind of find out what's going on. But it's also super fun, isn't it? It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoy playing it. I think he likes playing it too.
Oh yeah.
It's cool to get to battle and pick your teams and stuff. And because I've got pretty much the whole series. Mine is kind of 6 cards kind of thing. Actually maybe 8, but I think 4 of those are like hologram cards, which don't do anything major. It's easy for us to pick a bunch of different teams and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's neat being like your favorite heroes and seeing their special cards and attacks.
That's true.
So far my dad's been beating me.
I did win, but it's not so much about that. It's that it's just fun to play. Okay, we should go here because Miss Lillian is she's getting bored of listening to Overpower and comic books, I think.
So bye. You'll see us I don't know when, but you'll see us soon.
For sure.
Yeah.
When we've read some more comics and we decide to talk again.
Yeah, because it's really fun doing this.
It is kind of fun, isn't it? I'm glad you like it. That's cool. All right, everybody. So I guess you heard it. You'll see more of Mr. Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.